Give him a looser shirt. I don't want him to be like part of the reason I came up with the idea for having them meet at the gym. I mentioned that he's kind of jacked. I had that's going to be another joke. But that's always been kind of the design for the cross player. He's built, he's muscular. And so I had the idea, well, maybe they're gym buddies. Maybe that's how they know each other. And that gave me the in I needed to design this character. I've been trying to figure out how to get this character introduced for a while. So I'm very excited to finally be able to do that. Here we go. So getting back to my recent absolutely crazy time, one of the big parts of this, honestly, the highlight of the trip. As much as I love my family reunions, they're always fantastic. I go to them every year. We managed to have 3 poker games instead of the usual one, much to my delight because I love poker and never get to play it around here. But give him sweatbands on his wrist. But the real highlight this particular year was going to Otakon. Is that hand right? Yeah, it is. Because this was far and away my most successful con to date. These are pretty simple designs. I'm going to give logo shirts. I know what I'm going to use. No, looks like the Twitter logo. I need to look up what a certain type of bird looks like. But yeah, Otakon was an absolute treat. Oh, I have the eraser equipped. I did it last year, and it was my best con from last year. And unless MatsuriCon or West Virginia PopCon, my other 2 cons that are upcoming, absolutely blow it out of the water, which, no offense to those cons, but it's going to be tough to do. This was by far my most successful con. Anyone's curious, the bird I'm replicating is a lark, which it appears sometimes have these little horns, which I kind of like. This is going to be an inside joke for me. That looks roughly the front. Yeah, that'll do. Draw the background now. But yeah, Otakon is always a stressful con for me before the con actually starts. I'm always freaking out about every little detail because it is by far the biggest convention that I do. I used to say that it was around 35,000. I've seen updated numbers since they moved, and it dropped a lot when they moved, which is unfortunate, but just one of the things that happens. I just thought of another little joke I'm going to have in there. Write out the logo. I'm going to just use text for it. Let's find the font for it. I know the one I'm picturing. Will that work? Nope. So I'm deciding to call this Pyrite Gym. which is a play on the famous chain Gold's Gym. Pyrite is fool's gold. So there's a little goofy joke. That will work. Going to start with a flip. You shrunk like that. And now is when I find out that it wouldn't have mattered. Oh, come on. Do what I'm... Thank you. My computer is really misbehaving at the moment. Yeah, the joke's going to be illegible. Good to know. Well, sometimes it's got to gamble. That'll look fine. All right, let me go ahead and drop that down. In fact, one more thing I need to do, because there needs to be a door frame. There. All right, save. That's panel 1 penciled. All right, let me get back on track. So Otakon, as I was mentioning, the big thing with Otakon, besides its size, is that it is by far, it's a lot of work. It's got some of the most expense associated with it, especially since I needed to fly this year because of the wedding and all that. So I needed to, it ended up taking a lot of effort to get there, a lot of expense because of this whole wedding and reunion setup, all these cons were up in the air. So I needed to, it really made things difficult. And one of the side effects of that is you're almost never going to make money at a con like that because all your expenses are just overwhelming. So what I decided, and what I do at a lot of cons like this, is that if I can make table, which I did last year, just barely, then the con's a success even if I don't make money because it's necessary to look at things with whatever win you can get. And you're marketing yourself, you're getting information about what you do, who you are out there. There's a lot of benefits besides money. And so I was going in there like, okay, I need to make 325. And that will be enough. That's the amount that a table there costs. That's the other thing. Expensive tables for a con this size. And I was amazed because I ended up making far more than I anticipated making. And it was the first time in everything I was doing that I can remember feeling legit. So there's a concept that a lot of creators will tell you about called imposter syndrome. It is dangerous and it is toxic. And it is unfortunately very common. What imposter syndrome is this impression that you don't actually belong and don't actually deserve whatever you're getting that's positive. And there's often this thing going along with it is that eventually people will figure out that you're a fraud and that'll be the end of it. And it doesn't matter how legit you are. There's a very good chance that at some point in your life or career, you're going to come across this feeling. And with cartoonists, it's particularly bad because very often we don't see real rewards about it. A lot of people who are well-meaning will kind of be concerned about whatever you're trying to do. you're not getting where you want to get as quickly as you'd like to get there. And it's something that I've been pretty good at keeping at bay, but still creeps in there, especially since I'm not doing as well financially as would be ideal, as would be stable. Just that's part of the game. You go through periods where things get slow, but it can be very disheartening. So having a day where you actually succeed and go to a con where you were expecting to barely scrape by and to excel at that level, it's a moment that it's something I really needed and was unbelievably valuable. All right, that shrunk weird. Maybe I just have to squeeze it in. Stop paying attention to ratio. But yeah, that was honestly the first time in an extremely long time that I felt like a legit Artist Alley creator. It's so exhausting, it's so demoralizing when things don't go well, and they very often don't go well. But this was such a breath of fresh air. I had great interactions with people. I had great sales. I got a lot of great ideas for CosPain. It was refreshing in a lot of ways and desperately needed in a lot of ways. So I'm absolutely, if they'll have me back, I'm going back. I want to do this con every year that I can, because it's the exact crowd I want to target. It's the exact group of people who I think will enjoy my stuff. As long as I can as long as I can keep that group happy, I will be happy. And I'm very hopeful that next year we will see similar gains. Pasteurize the last one.